It's showtime. IdeaPros Market Research Secret Sauce, your recipe to startup success. Hello, everyone. We are here live and on time and on the correct post, finally. So give me a thumbs up if you guys can see us and hear us okay, and we will get rolling. So I am here with Fred Carey, who is, let's get the right view. I'm here with Fred Carey, who is co-founder and executive chairman of IdeaPros. And we are with Chandler Martin, who is senior content and business development strategist at IdeaPros. So welcome both of you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, I'm so excited that we have Chandler on. I had an opportunity to meet her recently. So Chandler has been advertising. You can tell I work in marketing. Chandler has been advising entrepreneurs for over 10 years, and she's worked throughout the U.S. and Latin America supporting new businesses. She has 2 master's degrees in business, and that's an MBA and an MSc. Is that correct, Chandler?
That's correct.
And marketing. And so she's really a marketing dynamo, really. Fun fact about her, she's also an entrepreneur herself. So she knows the struggles and knows what to look for. So excellent. Oh, you don't sound, Sean, can you hear us okay? Just give us a thumb up if you can hear us. It looks like everything's good, but Hi, Bill. Nice to see you. So we're just going to take a couple seconds and say hi to everyone that we have on here, and then we'll hop right into the session. So while I'm checking it out and looking at the feed, Fred, do you want to just give us some quick updates on IdeaPros? I know we have some exciting things that are coming down the pipeline, some exciting things that have happened recently.
Yeah, let's just make sure everybody can hear us since we did have that one comment. If you guys can hear us.
Yes, he can hear you.
All right, perfect. Sean, fix your computer.
Turn on your volume.
So yeah, I just got back from a week on the East Coast, a few days anyway on the East Coast. I am one of the on a new show.
Sorry, Fred.
May I continue?
Yep. For some reason, we just lost you. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and talk again. I guess it's...
Don't touch the screen.
Don't touch.
I'm a judge on a new TV series that's going to start in February. I don't know if I'm able to tell the name of it yet, so I won't. It's going to be on Amazon Live. Amazon's the second largest creator of original content in the world, just behind Netflix. And so it's a show about entrepreneurs and inventors. And again, I guess I'm the Simon Cowell of the judges, apparently, according to them. And so when that airs in February, it's going to be great, obviously, for all of our partners. And it's a very interesting show. So I'm going to blast all the information on it when it's time to watch it. And I hope you guys all watch. Another thing, while I was out there, I made a couple of great partnerships. We have 2 joint venture agreements that we're in the process of signing right now. It's really great for all of our partners. And one is a company that's the largest crowdfunding company in the world. They've raised over $150 million in crowdfunding, and they help companies both crowdfund and go live on their own. So they're going to be instrumental as we get to the launchpad stage with all of our partners. The second one is a public company that was involved in this show, actually, and they do licensing and distribution deals. And they have really deep connections with all the big players. And right now they're looking at about 15 of our products already. So exciting times. We're going to update you as things begin to happen, but they're really, really great partnerships to have. And I'm very proud to bring IdeaPros to them and to bring all of our partners' products and apps to them.
Yes, it's excellent connections and publicity too from the first announcement that you made. So we're excited about that, excited to see news as we can release it. And then today we are talking about the market research secret sauce. And IdeaPros really has figured out a recipe and a process that entrepreneurs are going to what you need to do to get the best market research done and how to apply that. So today, I think we're just going to start out with the beginning and start in the very, very beginning, which is what is market research and what does that do for your business? So Fred, do you want to take it away on that one?
Yeah, I'll handle the easy questions. So in a prior show, I talked about ethics as being a foundational element for any organization because that establishes what you do, how you treat your customers, your employees, your suppliers, your distribution partners. But on a practical aspect, your market research is literally the foundation of what you're going to do as an organization. And that is because that's going to tell you whether or not you have a place to play in the sector that you want to go into. You're going to analyze your competitors. You're going to look at the customer need. You're going to try to figure out where you fit in this world. And it will really be your beginning game plan to know what you have, how you can use it, how you can defeat the competition, and how you can attract a very large and very happy customer base. So again, think of it as the foundation of this house you're building. You want to build that foundation before you start with the walls and the windows and the doors and the roof. So market research is fundamental to any hope of having anything that becomes successful as an organization.
And there's a specific strategy that obviously IdeaPros uses in their market research, and we're not going to give away all of the secret sauce, but is there anything that you can share with us as far as the market research that you do that would help enlighten our entrepreneurs that are on with us?
Well, do you want to try to go through some of the process, some of the things that you look for when you do this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there are several really important pieces of this, and one of them is analyzing the competitive landscape. Any type of market research should really get into what does your competitive landscape look like, and not only to know who your competitors are, but to know what are they doing? Why are they doing that? What are their strengths and weaknesses? And so when we do this research, we get back a ton of data, both qualitative and quantitative data. And then we really like to look at that data, and through our team, our market research team, we really like to tease out insights from that. And then those insights, we try to find what's actionable from there. So if we see that there's a gap in the market, or there's a kind of weakness that companies are not addressing well, or sometimes companies have assumptions about their customers that turn out to be inaccurate. If you do good market research, you find out that these assumptions are actually wrong.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things that we look at. And I think the really important part of that is the analysis part. So you need to know how to analyze the data that you're getting back and what types of insights you want to pull from that to make it really, it helps you make decisions. It's a roadmap for you, a compass.
Yeah. So that's kind of the one side of it, and I know I've spoken in prior shows about looking for those competitors' 1-star reviews. That's part of the process when, especially if you're going against, if you have a sector that you're going into that has some big players in it, you want to make sure that you're not flowing right into their strongest suit, that you're going into the weak points, and so you look for consistencies in that market. What are these people really strong at? What are they weak at? What are all these people complaining about with the 1-star reviews? Is there some consistency in those complaints? And can we create a product that turns those 1-star reviews into 5-star reviews for us? Because now, as a small organization, we can play off the weaknesses of the large organization rather than go head to head with them, lightweight boxer against a heavyweight.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What about the opposite side of that, the customer side of it? I know we're looking for the 1-star reviews, but do we analyze the consumer or our target audience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the other part of it, is that the data can bring back, so it can bring back a lot of information about what our target market looks like, what our ideal customer profile is. So in this part of the research is that we're doing primary and secondary research. So if you remember from high school, primary is the direct source. So, and then secondary is information about that source. So it would be reports and other types of analyses. But we actually, so we do both. We do the market research reports, which are all about the market, but we're actually speaking to the target market as well. So when we talk to them, we get back a lot of information, which is really important. We get back demographic information, we get back psychographic information, Psychographic refers to sort of like lifestyle attributes. So maybe that could be people that are like outdoorsy, people that are yoga enthusiasts, people that are health food enthusiasts. So knowing this kind of information about the lifestyle of the market of the potential market is really important, because then we can figure out how to craft a strategy that will resonate with that market.
Yeah. People who are looking for a half an hour to sit on the couch and do nothing.
Exactly. So it ties in customer surveys as well. So you do a little bit of customer surveys in this phase, in the research phase. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. And then it comes in later as well. So customer surveys also are done later on in the process. Is that correct, Fred?
That is absolutely correct. We take that data that we gain from our research, and we want to make sure that our assumptions are correct. And so therefore we take what our assumptions are because of the information that we've gleaned, and we go and reach that target audience and ask them the necessary questions that basically confirm what it is that that we are assuming. So we can go right to the horse's mouth, as they say, and find out whether we're on track. And those are the fundamental things that you need to have in place before you even think about going into a market with a product. You know, you can't just invent something and run off and just like, here I am and I'm going to rule the world, because even though you think you have the greatest product ever since sliced bread, which incidentally I don't think is a very good product, it doesn't work that way. You know, you need to know, you have to be strategic. You need to know where you're going to go to battle, who you're going to be fighting, and how you're going to win.
Yeah, can I follow up on that?
Of course.
I think this is a really, really important point.
Oh my goodness.
Are you losing us?
Nope, you're back.
Okay.
You're here.
Yeah. I just want to follow up on Fred's point, because I think this is such an important point, that oftentimes entrepreneurs have this great idea and they're really invested in it, and they think that just like passion is going to get them through. And just having passion and brute forcing your product into the market that's not going to work. You have to have data, and it has to be an iterative process. So you have to be seeing how the entrepreneur needs to know how their product interacts with the market. What does the market say about it? Because you need to know, is there really a market for it? And so that's what the market research, that's the information that it tells us. It's telling us, what do people think about it? How is this going to work? Where are there opportunities? And so it's really, passion is great, and that'll get you through, some of the harder times, but data is fundamental.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fred, you've talked about this before, that reading the market research and customer surveys is a lot like reading an X-ray. And I love how he references it, because it is really confusing when you see that data if you're not one that knows what to do with that info. So Fred, once you have this market research, what is it that you're making? What's your next step, if you will?
Yeah, and that's I guess that's really the unfair advantage, because we can tell everybody what to do, and in fact, you can go to Upwork and for several $100s find somebody who is very qualified in being able to help you write a report. And in fact, we use outside contractors to help us go dig up the information that we need, and then it comes through our funnel. And we take information that we get from outside resources, combine them, look at what we have, end up with a solid report from it. But as you said, talked about previously, the X-ray. Think about going and getting a full body exam, and you got an X-ray, you got a EKG, you have blood work and everything. To be able to take all that stuff and actually do something with it, you need to have an expertise, right? If your doctor, good news, Sam, here's all your information, you go interpret it, you're really not going to be able to do that on your own. So while we're telling you how important it is to go get this information, it's even more important to know how to interpret it, how to analyze it, what to do with it. And that comes, unfortunately, with years of expertise. So if you don't have it, you really need to find some way to get some strategic partner, whether you're working with IdeaPros or whether you're working on your own. Get somebody with experience that can advise you and take a look at what you've found and help guide you as to where you go next. Because again, just as you can't read an X-ray on your own, just getting that data is the preliminary step, and what you really need to be doing. The secret sauce, if you will, is the analyzation of that data and figuring out where you're going to go based upon what you've learned.
You chimed in with that perfectly. I was actually going to say that the secret sauce is a little combination of having the right people doing the research, because you need someone who knows how to do it and has expertise, like Chandler, who has that background and all the degrees. That helps. And also looking at the data and so checking the target market, your customers, knowing what the customers say in the market research is another ingredient in the secret sauce. And then, of course, who the chef is, who's helping to make this come to life, right? So Fred and the IdeaPros team, I mean, that's your chef knows what they're doing. And I know that Fred can make some really good food and light it on fire and all that. So you've got the right chef in the kitchen. That's the secret sauce for IdeaPros market research. But you as an entrepreneur, and what you can take away from this is a lot of what we're talking about. You can do these research reports, can be done. You can hire people. So you just want to make sure that you've got the right pieces of it in there. You get what you pay for. Isn't that right, Fred, as far as the market research? So you just know you're getting the best data is what you want for your business.
Yeah. So all right. So three things. Number one, data is, you're not going to make it without it. If you don't have the data, you're not going to know where you're going to go. It's like trying to navigate the US without a roadmap or GPS. You're going to get lost really quickly. Number two is to find the resources that can help you, or if you have the expertise, you can do it yourself. But to go and really get a very in-depth report that addresses all those things, the competitive analysis, their strengths and their weaknesses. A lot of companies, when they first start out, they do a SWOT analysis, which means strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But when you're starting out with your first product and you don't have any other folks working with you, you're kind of a solo entrepreneur or solopreneur, however they say that, you're going to have all weaknesses and no strengths, really. The only strength that you're going to have is you have a unique product set. And so it's very, very important that you really understand how you're going to slip into that market with that product and do so in a compelling way so that you can get your traction and you can get your momentum. So all these other things, all these threats and weaknesses start becoming strengths for you over time. And that cannot happen unless you can get into that market and make a name for yourself in a very clear way. So those are the first two things. And then the third one, of course, is to be able to have a team that can help you not only look at the things that you've gathered, but to analyze them and help you with that second part of it, which is getting through and making that name for yourself.
Exactly. So we do have some questions that popped up. Are you open for a question before we close out for today?
Yeah.
He's like, sure. It's a question from Aziza, who is a partner of ours. So how much time and money should you spend on market research and analytics?
So you should spend $1,000 to $3,000 on the research, and you should spend $50,000 on analytics. And that number is a made-up number, but I'm just trying to give you the variety and the strength of the two different components of that, right? An X-ray might cost $800, but the analysis of it and the decision on what to do with that X-ray and how to treat you is invaluable. That's where all the strength is. So you can go out, as I said, and find people. If you have a clothing business, you can go find expert writers that understand the clothing business and can give you trends, saturation, who are the competitors, what the growth is generally in the industry. And you can get those reports from very legitimate firms for $5,000. But that's not going to really give you the analysis of how to apply that to you and your company, and how you're going to make that penetration into the marketplace. And that involves strategy, right? You got to have that. This is a tool. This is like having a gun to go into battle. You know, you need to have experts that are going to know what to do with it. And I hate guns, so I don't know why I use that analysis, but it's just a tool. The information you gather is just a tool. Analyzing it is where the strategy comes in. And so again, this is what you pay here, and this is what you pay to analyze things. By the way, speaking of Aziza, her product is rocking and rolling. She's in the launch pad right now. I think we've gotten something like upward of 10,000 people who have expressed an interest. We're going to be, I don't know if we're doing pre-orders yet. If we are, if we're not, we're going to be doing them really, really soon. And I think the product will probably be shipping in February, but even great for Christmas if you want to go and order it when it's available. Even though it's a February delivery, Aziza will give you a really nice presentation to give to your loved one, and you can be amongst the first to have this incredible product set available for you. Really revolution in beauty products, all natural, top notch, the best of the best ingredients that she spent 5 years searching the globe to come up with these things. I'm really proud to be partners with her, and she's an MBA herself, by the way. And so, hi, Aziza.
An award winner too. So, yeah. So we have only a couple more minutes, but I did have Bill had a question, and Bill's one of our partners as well, and he wanted to know how many market researches should you get. So, how many of those do you have to usually go through, or is it dependent on the product?
You want to tackle that?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question. I think a good way to look at that is more as far as phases. So the first phase is really the phase that looks at the market itself. So what's in the market? Who are the competitors? What's your value proposition? What do you think you can bring to the market? So sort of what does just the general competitive landscape look like, and where do you hope to position yourself within that market? And then a second phase is the more iterative phase, where we go out to the customers and we get that feedback from potential customers. So we look, we target people that we think are going to be in your target market. And so we pick an appropriate number of people, and we pick people that are in the right demographic, and then we reach out to them and we get that data back. So I think that's the way that I would look at that, is phases.
Right. And then one thing that we do is so when we get our report, and it's right at the beginning, we sit together and we make up our mind what that strategy, go-to-market strategy should be. Mm-hmm. And we start building on that. And just before we get ready to launch, that's when we go revisit. So it may not require a completely new market research report, but certainly we're going to look back at what we learned, make sure that those facts are still sound, and make sure that our approach to going to market still makes sense. And Bill is another one who's he's in the launch pad, and his product is going to be launching shortly. We might have some very interesting news for you, Bill, in the next week or so. I don't know if Jessica's been speaking to you about it, but some exciting stuff happening in the background, which of course I can't share on air.
He did have a comment that he put in, and I love that we're able to put these comments in again. So High Rise Sports Chair on the Facebook page, and Laura, maybe you can pop in the Facebook page on there for them.
Which used to be his old name, by the way, which now is called Goliath, which is a much better name, Bill. Another thing I wanted to talk about, because this just happened a few days ago, we have these two incredible women that came to us with an app idea, and we're still fairly early in the process, so I can't really get into exactly what it is. But basically, this app involved professionals interacting with professionals around the world to help you as a consumer in a certain way. My guy Laurent in the back there, who's the head of all front-end design on on the apps, and also in the back end, he leads the charge there. But he started looking at it and he thought, God, you know what? This would probably be awesome as a peer-to-peer product instead. And so we did our market research report, and we found that the market was glutted with competition in the professional space, but there was not one competitor in this peer-to-peer approach that we're going to utilize for this particular app. We've got the buy-in from our partners now, but here's a perfect example of something we learn in the marketplace, and that allows you to pivot and to change your strategy. Still a really good idea. Now it's become a way better idea because now we're tackling an insanely large market that can make this product something that's really ubiquitous around the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the pivot is so important, because I think a lot of times people come in and they love their idea and they're just in love with their idea, which is great. But sometimes if you just refine it just a little bit, and so maybe you're targeting this segment, but you need to go just a little bit over, you just tweak it a little bit in the market, and just that little fine tuning can make such a difference about the reception of the product in the market and what kind of profits you can access, because you don't want to be competing in when there are a lot of competitors. You want to be developing a blue ocean. You want to be finding an area where you're competing alone, essentially. And so this idea was so great because literally no one is doing what we are going to suggest, what we're suggesting for them. So it's a
love it.
Really cool fit. Yeah.
I'm glad you used the blue ocean. There's a really good book on that, and you're the only person in the world that I've heard mention that phrase besides me. And it really is that concept of being able to play alone. When you're in the blue ocean, no waves, no white water, it's a lot easier to make your place in the world. And so that's what and you can't always do that, but mind you, but you can do things to tackle the world in a way different way that can virtually put you in the blue ocean environment. I'll give you one more story on one more of our partners. We are just getting ready to do a crowdfunding campaign for a product. It's been almost 2 years, but it's a very complex product. It's basically a Vespa-like scooter, but it's battery-powered electric scooter. And this particular scooter, we've completely turned the industry upside down. It has one moving part in the engine. It'll go 65 miles an hour. The nearest competitor goes 40. It'll climb 35 to 40 degrees. The nearest competitor will go 20 degrees. You can take the battery out, throw it next to your desk, and charge it up in 2 hours using a regular outlet. Nobody does that. These things are going to be delivered directly to your door. You don't have to go to a dealer because we've eliminated the whole dealer network. And it's just really an awesome thing. And our new partner is going to help us with that one as well. And so here, while it's not a blue water play in particular, we're doing things way differently, right? No dealers, go to your door. We're going to have vans going around the country doing weekend demonstrations in different metropolitan areas around the world, first in the US and in Europe. So even if your product isn't something that is going to be in the blue water, we work together with our partners to find ways to make it unique and make that value proposition unique, so that when you're swimming around, you're not swimming with sharks.
Not too close to the sharks, definitely. Well, awesome. We've had a lot of people on. Actually, this is a record-breaking show. I know that already because I can see the numbers. So thank you guys so much. And I want to take a second to say hi to people because we can actually see the comments. And we have a lot of people who are new to the show. So we come on every Friday at noon Pacific time. All topics that you can imagine for entrepreneurs and how to get your product or app to market. And we have Bill, Katie, Laura, Susan, more Maddie, Odin, Aziza, obviously, Susan, Cameron, Sean Reed, of course, Martin. There's so many guys. Jamie, Grant, thank you so much for popping on. Ruben. I have a couple others that were partners. So Rob, it's great to see you as well. And Jared, Jess, gosh, thank you guys all so much for coming. If I missed your name, Donna, hi. If I missed your name, it's just because we're getting so many people and so many comments. Steve, great to see you. And actually, we can see the comments and I can put them up. So next show, I'll be a little bit more active on getting your comments up there. And we are on YouTube. We are actually streaming live on YouTube right now. So if you haven't gone over to YouTube and checked out our page and subscribed, please do, because we will be doing lives over there as well. So exciting and so glad to have you guys all here. And Fred, if you don't mind leaving with this final thought, that would be excellent. We can let these guys go for a great weekend.
Yeah, so my final thought on this is great ideas are something that a lot of people can have, but don't be married to it, because a lot of times you'll find that your great idea has already been done. And what you need to do is take this thing that you believe isn't done anywhere else and really research it. And when you research it, you're going to find a way. If it's a problem that you have and that you feel that nobody else is addressing, even if you find people that are addressing it in a certain way, there's better ways to do everything. And so don't give up. Don't be married to your idea. Do the work, the research that you need, and bring competent people around you that can help you take your idea and make it a lot better, so that not only you can be proud of what you have done, but you can serve a large community of people who are going to become the passionate advocates of your brand. So hang in there, work hard, and just be free to go wherever that water takes you.
Excellent. Well, thank you. And there is a link in the chat to subscribe to YouTube. You just click it. You don't have to do anything else, guys. It's that easy. You just click and say, okay. And happy Thanksgiving to everyone. We will see you guys next Friday. Even though it's Black Friday, we will be on in a way, shape, or form. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. And we'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.